During the All Valley tournament, Miguel decided not to fight and walked out of the tournament. This surprised everyone, but then he did something else unexpected. The boy decided to find his father alone. Miguel will soon face a serious problem, meeting a dangerous man who does not know him as his son. Today we're going to talk about Johnny's mission to rescue Miguel. To understand how Johnny is going to save Miguel, we must first understand the mistake he made. Johnny and Daniel made a deal with Kreese, where the loser of the tournament will close their dojo.
Why don't we settle this the old-fashioned way? Tournament. If we lose, I go. If you lose,
we won't lose.
Victory in the tournament was the most important thing for everyone, but not for Miguel. He abandoned Johnny when he needed him the most. The boy left him because Johnny did not understand what Miguel needed.
Listen, I know what's been going on with you lately.
You do?
Yeah, you still haven't gotten over that little spat with your girlfriend.
The same could be said about Daniel LaRusso and Robbie. Robbie, Miguel, and Daniel share several similarities, primarily the absence of a father figure. Luckily for Daniel, Mr. Miyagi came into his life and became the father that he needed. He taught him discipline and guided him on the right path, though Daniel would still make many mistakes. All things considered, he grew up to become a better man, carrying the legacy of Mr. Miyagi. Robbie's father, Johnny, was absent in his life, and so the boy wanted payback, even if it meant betraying everything that Johnny was fighting for. First by aligning himself with his enemy, Daniel, and then by joining his ex-sensei, Kreese. Daniel and Kreese temporarily filled the role of father figure for Robbie until he finally forgave his real father, Johnny.
I realized I screwed everything up, and I had all this hate inside of me. For you and for Miguel, and I thought I could use Cobra Kai to control that, but it just made things worse, and now it's never gonna get better.
That's not true. You had a good thing going with LaRusso. I got in the way of that. Don't blame yourself, you blame me.
I'm sick of blaming you, Dad.
Not because Johnny did anything worthy of his forgiveness, but because Robbie saw that he was negatively affecting the people around him. He was following in his father's footsteps, making the same mistakes he did. He was becoming Kreese, and so he chose to change. Robbie's arc is complete because he went from being a troubled boy to becoming an example for others. Anthony LaRusso is also connected to this because his father, Danny Boy, always cared more about talking about Mr. Miyagi than properly educating his own son, who feels that he is living in the shadow of the memory of a person he never met.
You know, if Mr. Miyagi was here, you know what he would say right now?
I don't care.
What?
All you ever do is talk about Mr. Miyagi, okay? I get it. He was a great man. He taught you karate and taught Sam her first move, the wax on, wax off, okay? I've heard all the stories and I'm getting sick of it.
Oh, you're sick of it.
Going back to Miguel, he saw Johnny as a father figure. He is his stepfather after all. Miguel was a shy kid who became the karate champion of All Valley, but his happiness was only momentarily. Miguel started having problems with Samantha. His injuries made him realize that his life should be more than just karate. He needed advice from someone like Mr. Miyagi. Instead, his stepfather Johnny was only focused on the tournament, not realizing that he was acting like Kreese. Right before Johnny talks to Miguel, Kreese tells Johnny that he always cared about him. Johnny did not buy it.
You don't care about Robbie any more than you cared about me.
bullshit. I cared more about you than anyone.
You had a funny way of showing it. You forced me to fight dirty, sacrificed my soul just so Cobra Kai could stay #1.
And Kreese's warped mind, making Johnny a champion, gave him purpose in his life. That was how Kreese showed affection to Johnny, and Terry Silver knows this, as later he tells Kreese that his weakness is Johnny.
You remember when you asked me what I thought your weakness was? It's Johnny Lawrence.
And just like Johnny did to Miguel, Kreese thought that all he needed was to win the tournament. Apparently Johnny also believed this, because early in the series, his life was without purpose and he was depressed, reminiscing on the time when he was a champion. So Johnny tells Miguel that everything he has fought for has led him to that important moment in the tournament.
Everything you've learned, everything you've been through, was just a warm-up for this moment. All right, it's time to show the world what you're made of.
Johnny thought that he was motivating his stepson, but he was actually doing the opposite. He did not stop to think about what he was saying and to whom he was saying it. He was telling Miguel that all that mattered was winning the tournament. There is when Miguel realized that his stepfather is not the right one for him. Johnny Lawrence only cared about winning a trophy. He was blinded to what should be important to him. He has unknowingly become Kreese, and Miguel is refusing to follow in his stepfather's disappointing path. He already saw where that path leads. A sad existence, wondering what could have been if he had won the trophy. This is why Miguel left the tournament. And what could be described as a strange twist of fate, the one who could help Miguel and Johnny's relationship is Robbie. Robbie was just as lost as Miguel, looking towards the wrong people for a replacement father figure. Therefore, the first step would be for Robbie to try to explain to his father what is going on with Miguel. Hopefully Johnny understands his mistakes and goes to Mexico to find Miguel. It seems like he does, since there are already leaked pictures of him and Robbie in Mexico, looking for Miguel. Robbie going to Mexico makes sense because he can relate to his stepbrother. He understands what he is going through. But if Miguel does find his father, that's going to make things difficult for Johnny. According to Miguel's mother, at first, she didn't know how bad the boy's father was until much later after she was pregnant. Therefore, the mysterious father could present a dangerous obstacle for Johnny. In one of our past videos, we talked about how Mike Barnes could be Miguel's father. The man could manipulate Miguel into joining his side and not want to go with Robbie and Johnny. Miguel could think that Robbie is jealous because he found his father, who is a better father than Johnny, and who does not only care about a karate championship trophy. Maybe the boys end up fighting in Mexico, because remember that Miguel thinks that Robbie is a Cobra. Johnny would have to face the problem he's had since the first season, that what gives him purpose in life is not the karate championship, but his family. He needs to stop being like Kreese and become someone more like Mr. Miyagi. Johnny has to realize and understand that the example he gives to his sons is more important than a trophy. How can Johnny save Miguel from the dangers of the boy's father? By approaching him as someone who loves him, not as a sensei training him to win a tournament, but as a parent. Maybe he will convince Miguel to return to his mother, who has sacrificed a lot for her son. Help the boy see that what is truly important is those connections he has with the people who love him. And what about Kreese? Is there hope for a redemption story? We'll talk about that in a future video.
I cared more about you than anyone.
I'm surprised you backed off on Nichols in the finals. That's not like you.
I had a moment of sympathy.
Sweep the leg. You have a problem with that?
No, Sensei. No mercy.
What did you do?
John Kreese, you're under arrest for aggravated assault and attempted murder. You have the right to remain silent.
John, what did you do?
You're gonna regret this.
So what do you think? Will Johnny stop being a sensei and start being a father? Please don't forget to like and subscribe as we continue to make daily content here on Hypnos Mirror.